Hello fellow makeup lovers, how are you guys doing today? So I'm pretty excited for this video because I'm going to be doing indie makeup releases and talking about all the new indie releases from the past week and what I personally think about them and getting to share brands with y'all. This week is actually going to be exclusively indie because I didn't feel like any of the mainstream releases really caught my eye. I didn't feel like I had anything that I really specifically wanted to talk about. So today we are just going to be talking about indie. Before we jump in, obviously there's a few things to say. First of all, this video series is inspired by Angelica and Samantha March. I have both of their channels linked down below, as always, along with the Community Will I Buy It playlist and all of the Instagram accounts that I use to gather the pictures to make this video happen every single week. I feel like I have this speech memorized, which is probably why I say it so fast, but I also wanted to go ahead and mention really quickly, if you are digging my makeup look, because, you know, I feel like if I don't address it, I always get so many comments about it, which I don't mind at all. I mean, I love the comments. Who doesn't like compliments? This eye look is a bunch of singles, so I probably won't have everything listed out down below, but don't you worry your little heart. I did film it, and it is coming very, very soon. So now let's go ahead and jump right on into all the releases. If you are wondering what is happening right here, this like hairstyle, my 9-year-old sister is learning how to braid hair. She did it. She was so proud of it, so I left it in. So it's like French braid, I should say. So if you're wondering what this whole thing is, that's what it is. Alright, so the first thing I want to talk about this week is a new release from Notoriously Morbid, and this is their Ritual of Moons palette, and it is already available now. I believe it is $45, and it does come with 12 different metallic shades, and I believe that they are all handmade. So I feel like, you know, the price is pretty good for everything that you're getting, and you're getting it all in a palette, and I do think it's really, really beautiful overall. But it is a pretty big palette full of shimmers, and I feel like there's just a handful that I really, really want. I did mention last week that this was something I definitely had my eye on, and I do think it's really pretty, and there are a few that I'm like, ooh, I really want those as singles. And Notoriously Morbid is a brand I really, really want to try. I feel like this release is not exactly it for me. I'm trying to be patient and just wait to try brands when they release something that really speaks to me, instead of trying to form myself to something that they're coming out with, which obviously every single person has different preferences, so it's going to take a while before I try all the brands I want to try because, like I said, being patient. But I do think it's really beautiful. I think if you're into shimmers, you know, you might really like this palette, and I have heard nothing but great things about their formula. So it does look pretty overall, but it's just not exactly me per se. Alright, so next is a bunch of new single shadows from BeYS Cosmetics. I'm not BeYS. Ooh, BeYS is coming out with new shadows, but I don't know if they have a picture of them all together yet. Let me creep on them. Now that I said that, I wasn't even thinking of them, but they are coming out with new shadows. So far, BeYS has just shown a bunch of like little sneak peeks of shades and comparisons and everything, so I think we'll talk about that next week once they have a full reveal, just to make it easier on myself. So what I meant to say is that Looksee Beauty is releasing a bunch of new single shadows, and they are releasing 4 5s, so they should already be released by the time that you're watching this video. That is tomorrow for me. I am filming this a little bit early just because I feel like this week it is going to be a little bit busy for me. But there's 20 shadows here, and they are all matte shades. 10 are obviously very neutral shades, and then 10 of them are colorful shades, which I think that is fun that she released them like that. And, you know, there is, you know, something for everyone. I think that the shade names are super, super cute. And I am definitely interested in the more colorful side. I am very, very extra intrigued to try these particular shadows because I have a bunch of matte shadows from Looxi, and I've thought, you know, they're fine. I can get them to work for me, but I definitely don't think that they're the best matte shadows ever. I feel like they are a little bit like, sometimes on the patchy side. You kind of have to build them up. They can feel a little bit dry. Like I said, I've made many beautiful looks with Looxi matte shadows, but I do feel like they could be better potentially. So they are actually making these all in a lab now. I think that's super, super exciting for Looxi. They got so big that they now need a lab, and she said that the lab did reformulate the mattes, and they're supposed to be really, really good, super pigmented. So that's why I really want to give these a try and see the difference. I believe that the lab is still like in America. It's supposed to be like really good working conditions and everything. Vegan, cruelty free, vegan at least as far as these shadows. I can't speak to anything else in the line. Geez, I cannot. I'm still with this cough. But that is what intrigues me so much to try these particular shadows. But I can't remember where I read it, so please don't hold me to this. But I'm pretty sure I read that they are going to be continuously releasing batches of new shadows every few weeks. I feel like I read that somewhere, or maybe I just made it up in my head. I don't know. Literally, this morning I dreamt that Lime Crime released a like really beautiful blue palette, and then I woke up and I was like, was I checking my phone? Was that real? Was that a dream? And it was a dream. Does anyone else dream about makeup, or is that just me? I feel like I don't do it as often as I used to, but I've definitely had a lot of dreams about makeup in my life. But anyways, as far as whether I'm going to be buying these particular shadows, I feel like at the moment I'm not. I don't think I need them. I also would rather wait if they are going to be releasing more in the future and just make one order, make it super simple, super easy, and maybe pick out a few shadows. It depends on like if the month is super slow for my low buy and what you know, nothing helps you decide what to purchase more than having a limit, because like I look at this and in the past I probably would have been like, yes, I need those. I need to try the new formula. I need them right now. They're still, you know, Nisi Pizza, my makeup goblin is still saying that a little bit. But the fact that there's still so much happening in April and I don't know what else is going to come out with, what else there is that's going to come out, I feel like that holds me back from making an order. So I am very, very intrigued though. I'm excited to see what people think of them. So, okay, so next we need to talk about Menagerie Cosmetics Whalesong palette. And I know I talked about this for a great length last week, but I have different things to say this week, so I'm going to go ahead and say them. And I actually kind of have mixed feelings on two things, kind of. So I'm going to go ahead and explain it real quick. Basically, last week they showed the graphic of what the Whalesong palette was supposed to be, and people went a little bit crazy, and they were going to find a way to make a pre-order work. And you know, I was excited about it. I was going to pre-order it. I did pre-order it the moment it went live. I was ready. And I'm excited about it. I'm excited. It will ship, I believe, April 30th. So I'm very, very happy that that was one of my palette purchases for this month. Although it was April 1st. It was funny because I was going through, and this year I've decided I'm going to be super, super organized about taxes, because I hate doing taxes, and especially like with doing YouTube and stuff, and like if I get like any affiliate pay or whatever, and it's all around, like I don't keep track of it, and I'm like, I have to keep track of that for taxes. So this year I was going through, I was writing, you know, all the different payments, and then I was writing all the different things that I bought so far for my channel, like makeup, or like, I don't think I bought anything technical. Actually, my subscription that I pay for each month for my editing software, I believe counts. So I was going through writing it, and my mom was there, and I was like, oh look, I'm like, this is my 3 purchases for each month. I was explaining my low buy rules, and she looked at April and she's like, it's April 1st. It's been like 5 hours. You already bought something. I'm like, I know, but it's the Whalesong palette. It's so beautiful. So that's kind of a little tangent, but it is kind of funny to purchase something on the very, very first of the month, but I didn't want to miss out on the pre-order. So one of the things I have mixed feelings with is the pre-order sold out, and I feel like that's kind of crazy. I feel like the whole idea of a pre-order is to be able to order as much as people want, because there are a ton of people who commented in my YouTube comment section, obviously, and they said, you know, that they wanted to pre-order it and they ran out of time, or they were in school. It literally like ran out and within a few hours, I believe, and sold out. So I think that is kind of, it stinks, because like there are so many people who want this palette and who are on board for it, and the pre-order sold out so quickly, which, you know, I don't know anything about business, so this is just me talking about, I can't say that phrase on my channel. This is me talking, from ignorance for sure, but I just thought, like, you know, a pre-order, you know, if you're trying to get people interested in your brand, and so many people are, and they can't purchase it, I don't know, I was a little bit confused about that. And then the other thing was just the fact, I thought about it and I saw someone comment this, I think it was actually in Angelica, in her comment section, because I was creeping when I was watching her new releases, and they said that they were confused because like they asked the owner of Menagerie like how long they had been working on the palette, because they showed the graphic and then like 2 days later they showed the actual palette, and I guess like it was only within those few days that they chose the shades and the formula, and I feel like that's really not enough time to create a palette, even if you have the idea, but to turn it from an idea to an actual palette and to have all the formulas perfect. And I also just noticed, like, this is just me nitpicking maybe, but in the graphic, the shade on the upper left corner looked like it was going to be a beautiful, beautiful duochrome with all kinds of different shifts. And then in the actual Whalesong palette, it looks to be like a pretty average champagne type shimmer. So I don't know if this got rushed a little bit maybe. I mean, it looks fine in the pan. I mean, obviously, once I use it and everything, like, I was willing to take that chance, but it was definitely something to think about. Like, how can you pull a palette together that fast? If it was me, I'd want to test it out. I'd want to make sure that all the shades work together. Like, if you're using the palette and you think, oh, I wish I had this, and maybe I did, and maybe, oh, I don't use this particular shade very often. I think that's obviously important when you're developing something. So maybe that's just my 2 cents, but that was something I was thinking about. Like I said, I took the gamble. I bought it anyways. I do like the formula of the Ferrell palette, so I guess I'll see. I'll see how it goes. But I do think it's pretty, and I pre-ordered it. So those were the things I was thinking, although I will say I found it kind of funny just how and when I say this, I'm not saying that anybody's wrong. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion on this, but it's kind of funny because I saw the Instagram post that like sparked so much drama, and I was like, I guess maybe it's because I'm a sensitive person or because I give people the benefit of the doubt, but I was like, oh my gosh, like, I feel so bad for the brand. Like, I want them to do so well, and then I see so many people and they're so angry about it, and it just, like, everyone's allowed to feel the way that they want to feel, but I was just like, it's just crazy how we as humans can take the same exact concept or the same exact paragraph and feel so differently about it. Not that I'm right or anyone else is wrong, but I found that it was very interesting as I was watching different people's new makeup releases and stuff like that and reading comments. Definitely a lot of comments. Okay, anyways, moving on. Next is something really funny from Devinah Cosmetics, and this is their new Eternal Night Harmony collection set, and they did go ahead and release this on April Fool's, and people were commenting like, is this a joke? Like, you almost had me. No, this is not a joke. This is very real. It is made out of shades that are already in their line, but I think this is really funny because it looks exactly like basically when you see palettes and they're black and white and it's still the sneak peek and everyone's like I'm not everyone, but I've definitely seen people say, I wish I had just a palette that was like this, like a black and white and gray and just like a super smoky palette. So if that is you, here you go. It is a completely super, super, super cool toned, like, gray based palette, and I think it's interesting. I think it's definitely unique. There's nothing else that I've seen like it that I can think of. It does look to be all matte shades. Personally, for me, I'd be a lot more interested in it if it did have a few shimmers. They could obviously be like super gray, cool tone shimmers, but yeah, I thought that was really funny that, you know, it's very, very real. So not something personally that I would buy. I don't think. It's just not really my style, but I do appreciate the humor while it's still being real. All right, so next is the new Fresh Baked palette from Bombshell Cosmetica, and this is their palette that looks like a chocolate chip cookie, and it is it smells like a chocolate chip cookie also. Like, I could not have this palette. I would open it and I would be hungry. Like, I can deal with the different candy scents and the different fruity scents, but you want me to sit here and smell a palette that smells like chocolate chip cookies and not get hangry? Like, there's no way. There's no way. I love the concept. I love the concept. I think it's so, so cute. As far as the colors go, I do think that this definitely reminds me of like Dose of Colors Friendcation. Maybe not all the shades are exact, but it does kind of give those same vibes where it's like a bunch of very warm mattes, and then there's like some really beautiful, very sparkly pops of shimmer. I do think it's pretty. I'm sure you could get beautiful looks with it, but I definitely don't feel like that's something that I need in my life. But the fact that it smells like a chocolate chip cookie just makes me laugh so much. So next is the new Unicorn and Rainbows eyeshadow palette from Beautybay. Baby, it's available now. It's $50. Packaging on this is super, super cute, and it looks nice. It's pretty much all colorful shimmers. They look really beautiful. Of course, Angela Marie Tanner swatched it, and I feel like she's the queen of swatches. She could make any palette look beautiful and like cause you to buy it. So I try to keep that in mind when I see her swatches. I'm like, her swatches are always the best. Calm down, Amy, calm down. But I think that the shades look really nice. It's just, I'm just personally not drawn to full metallic palettes, and I've been trying to like work different ideas in my collection so that I would be able to use my full shimmer palettes more. And so the last thing that I need is to bring in another full shimmer palette, because I just don't reach for them as often. So yeah, but I do think it's cute. I like the colors overall. I feel like it is definitely very, very spring, and I like the idea of it. Okay, so speaking of ideas that I really like, this is from Sample Beauty, and they actually released this early, or like released the announcement of this. Basically, let me go back. Let's talk about April Fools again, because we actually have quite a few things to mention because of April Fools. But P. Louise did a like little sneak peek, and it was for their new invisible base, and it was just an April Fool's joke, but I actually thought it sounded like a really good idea. I thought it looked really nice on the hand. I thought it looked like really glowy, like something maybe you could also put over shimmers when you're done. I liked the idea of it, although I'm not personally buying from P. Louise because they sell a pair of mink lashes. One pair, don't get me started. But Sample Beauty also is apparently like actually producing that kind of primer. And they said, like, we kept this on the hush-hush, but another brand did this as an April Fool's joke, and we have already developed one. So they went ahead and showed it just to, make it, to crush any, talk or anything. Actually, we should have a talk about that at the end. I was just thinking about that. Not we should have a talk, because, it's probably going to be, like, preaching to the choir, but maybe if there's time at the end, if I'm still feeling chatty, we'll talk about that idea. But I really like the idea of this. They talked about all the different ways you can use it. It'll be like a really good base for someone who doesn't always want to have like that full coverage blockout, which I totally understand. I feel like that takes natural makeup to like another level when you have a eye primer that just completely covers everything. I feel like if everything else on your face is super natural and then you do that, it doesn't quite flow exactly. So I like the idea of this, but I'm not going to personally buy it because Sample Beauty also sells mink lashes. They came out with a bunch of eye bases, I think a few weeks back, that look really, really good as well. But I'm not going to be buying them. I do genuinely like the idea, which is why I thought I would talk about it for a moment. Alright, next we have another look from Certifeye, and this is for the new Eternity palette. They did sneak peek this maybe 2 weeks ago. They showed a matte version of it, and they did go ahead and switch it up, which I'm glad. I'm glad they added some extra colors in here. I do think that this is really pretty. Overall, I think that it's like my kind of neutral palette. I like it. I don't know if I would buy it. I'm undecided. But I do think overall it's pretty, but there's still some things I would change about this palette. I feel like the shade Unconditional, Darling, and Eternal are just very, very close to each other, and I feel like having all three of those are not necessary. I thought maybe if you took out Unconditional and in that top row added in a super light, or not even super light, just some type of light, shimmery highlighting shade, I think that would be a nice addition to the palette. So yeah, not sure if this would be something that I would buy. I'm undecided at this moment. I think the way that it is right now, the fact that when I see a colorful palette and there are shades that are super close to each other, I'm like, I could justify it. But when I see a neutral palette and there are shades that are super close to each other, I can't justify it, and I guess that's just my personal preference. So yes, undecided on that as of yet. But now next we have a new palette from Nomad Cosmetics, and this is their new Marrakesh Medina eyeshadow palette. I think that this is super, super cute. Like the theme and the packaging. The packaging is so, so cute. I love the packaging on their palettes. I love that they're like so geographically geographical geographically. Oh my god. I just need to quit. I love that they're so geographically based and like all their like location themed items. I really like it. Overall, this palette I do like. Definitely my kind of vibes, but it's kind of been done before. It is just, you know, a super warm palette with some pops of blue. I do like it because I feel like it has like a super true yellow, a true orange. There's like some peaches. I like it. I do like it, but I don't feel like I need it in my life. I do like Nomad's formula, but I don't need it. I don't need it. But I think the packaging is also so, so cute, and I'm a sucker for that. All right, next we just have to talk about this again because like I'm so excited for this collection. So this is some more sneak peeks from Cleona Cosmetics. I just had to show these particular pictures because I think it's so cute. I just wanted to talk about it for a moment. So they're coming out with a stained glass collection, and literally I'm so overwhelmed by the entire collection. There are so many multi-chromes. There's like glitter toppers, there's like glitter multi-chromes, there's gonna be like bags and brushes and so many different things. So I'm like overwhelmed completely, but also so in love. Like I know that this month I'm going to be making a purchase from Cleona Cosmetics. Like I know it, and I'm so excited about it because I feel like this collection really speaks to me. It's something I'm going to use a lot, and it's just so beautiful, like so beautiful. So these are going to be launching, did I just say that? I don't think I did. They're going to be launching April 30th, so at the very, very end of the month. Maybe they'll end up being a May purchase. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure. Depends on how this month goes. But I think that they are absolutely stunning. And you can see the pans actually look pretty cool. And these are going to be, they're in rectangular pans and they are a beveled press. And the idea behind it is that when you line them up together, they're supposed to actually look like stained glass. I think that is so precious. Like, I love the idea. I love the heart behind Cleona Cosmetics. So I'm very, very, very excited about it. If the pans look a little messy, they said that these are their testers, but it's so cute. I love the idea. I will say I love the concept, but the only thing is, for me personally, whenever I put like palettes together and do my own color schemes, I really, 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 really like the pans to be the same size and everything. So that is one thing that holds me back a little bit, but it doesn't hold me back a lot. Not enough. Not enough. I'm definitely making a purchase. It's just like this little like torn between like, oh, it's so cute. But if they're the same, they're more usable for me. But oh, it's so cute. So I don't know. You guys will have to let me know if you're also very excited about this collection. I definitely recommend going ahead and checking them out on Instagram and looking through everything because there's a lot, way more. I did a video 2 weeks ago, I think, going through and showing all the like regular multi-chromes that they are doing. They're all going to be pressed. And even that took like 2 minutes to show everything as a video. So I definitely recommend for you to go ahead and check them out yourself if you do happen to have an Instagram account. Okay, so next let's talk about something from BeYS Cosmetics, and I'm not sure if they are independently owned, but they do seem to be a smaller brand, and we're going to talk about a palette that does not exist, unfortunately. So this was another April Fool's joke, and you can see it is a beautiful monochromatic matte green palette that is apparently pickle scented. So I'm looking at this and I love it. I love the colors. I mean, it's super fun green tones. It looks beautiful all together. And like, I think the Pickicious idea is kind of cute. Probably wouldn't want a pickle scented palette, but I'm not completely against it. It just makes me think of my one of my best friends from high school. She was obsessed with pickles, anything. Like, she could just eat pickles after pickles after pickles. She would eat like entire bags of pickle chips. And a few months ago, I saw a pickle chapstick on Etsy, and I sent her one because I just thought it was hysterical. I was like, she has to have a pickled chapstick. So when I saw this, it immediately made me think of her, because if this was actually pickle scented and like was a real palette, I would have no other choice but to buy this and send it to her for the joke alone. But yeah, I think it's another case of like, with this, I think it's so funny because this is beautiful. It caught so many people's attention, and I'm not trying to say this to sound snarky at all, but I never ever heard of BeYS Cosmetics before this palette. This fake palette that they think is a joke that no one would want, this Pickicious palette. But that's the reason why so many people, I think, have become aware of their brand, is because of something that they're not even selling. I don't understand. I feel like, actually, we do have something else to talk about from Beautybay. I totally forgot about this. Let me go grab that picture real quick. Beautybay also did a fake palette, as a joke. And I also think that this is really beautiful. Let me take a picture. Obviously it's a joke because of the names that are here. Like, there's like sweet chili, pepperoni pizza, garlic mayo, but overall the color scheme of this I really dig. It's got like some blue, just a tiny little bit of blue. There's like a lot of warm tones. There's some greens. Not really sure how much this goes together as far as color theory, but I do like the way that it looks together. I think it looks interesting. It looks like something different, but again, it's just a joke. It's just a joke, which stinks because I really do want to try the Beautybay line. They're super affordable. There's one palette I really want to try from them, but it's sold out. I was thinking of doing Beautybay like as a brand, as one of my brands to try for a month, because they have like beautiful highlighter palettes that are like 10 pounds, I believe, or 10 euros. I can't remember. But I saw a review and they look super incredibly blinding, so I really want to try those. But yeah, so that palette, not happening, unfortunately. All right. Okay, I lied. I have one quick mainstream brand to throw in, although they did used to be an indie brand, and I mentioned this before, but I didn't quite explain it. BeYS Cosmetics has been pumping out a ton of products recently. I'm sure you've noticed. I feel like they've come out with like 15 palettes in the last year already. No, by last year, I mean like this year. And I believe it was sometime last year they actually did sell to a corporation or something along those lines, so that's why they're no longer independently owned. And I think that would also make sense why they are pumping out so much product constantly, because they've released so many palettes this year. Like, if you're a BeYS Cosmetics stan, I don't even know how you're keeping up. BeYS Cosmetics is like the new ColourPop. But they released this new palette, and it is called Summer Lovin'. Way to hit me in my Grease feels, because I love that song. Like, okay, we'll talk about the colors for a second. I actually do think they're pretty. It is a mix of like pinks and greens, and yeah, I actually really like the color scheme. I'm not gonna lie. I do. I think it's pretty. I bet it's super affordable. Ooh, it's available now. I don't need it, but this is probably the BeYS Cosmetics palette that spoke to me the most this year. I really like the tones, the pinks and the greens. Oof. I wasn't expecting to like that this much, and I can probably talk myself out of it because it is a summer 2019 release. Maybe it is limited edition, and that'll cause me to talk myself out of it, but I just want to sing. That's the problem with this palette. Like, you expect me to look at Summer Lovin' and not start belting out some lyrics. Summer lovin', hand me your glass. Summer lovin', happen so fast. Met a girl, raise it for me. Met a boy, cute as can be. Okay, I think that's everything I had to talk about today as far as new releases. But I am going to go back and talk about the thing I was talking about before, but I didn't say everything because I didn't want to get off track. But here we are now at the end of the video, and I don't even know why I'm throwing this in here. If you don't want to hear me rant for a moment, feel free to just click out now. Bye. Thank you for being here. But I feel like this week I have been so frustrated by people literally thinking that Jeffree Star created the color blue. Like, I think I've been hyper aware of it because I have an account where I post new releases and I see the comments, and anything that I post with blue, it's like, Jeffree Star did it first, Jeffree Star did it better, Jeffree Star did it for cheaper, Jeffree Star did this, Jeffree Star did that. I'm like, Jeffree Star did not invent blue, you guys. Not you guys, because like I said, preaching to the choir, but it's just so frustrating because like there have been like the Whalesong palette, it was sneak peeked. The idea of it was sneak peeked months ago. The Certifeye palette, which has like the blues and the greens, that was sneak peeked months ago. All the different releases that came from like the Tarte Icy Betch palette, like the Davina one, the Sydney Grace one, the actual Tarte one in general, those are all blue and green based color schemes. But everyone and their mama is trying to apparently copy Blue Blood. And like, it's not even like I'm salty about it. Like, I don't care that the palette exists. It's fine. Like, it's a beautiful palette and it's causing so many people to get out of their comfort zones and to do blue looks. I'm all about it. But I'm like, it's just so frustrating. I feel like everyone has to like find the negative in something and find something to complain about and find something to nitpick at. It's like, why can't we just all be happy? Why can't we just be happy and positive? And, you know, if you were like, oh, I bought the Blue Blood palette, I don't need this. Okay, great. But when it turns into, like, being toxic and, like, oh, they're just trying to ride his coattails and I would never buy this because I already bought it from the king, like, I could roll my eyes so hard they get stuck in the back of my head, and I'm gonna have to start doing my video intros like The Undertaker. Obviously, I'm over-exaggerating just a little bit, but that has been something that's been on my mind, so, you know, I just thought I would talk about it for a second, enjoy my 2-minute rant. It's probably more than 2 minutes knowing me, but that is everything for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to let me know down below, and I'm still trying to break out of the habit of saying please subscribe, because I'm like, I told myself, I'm like, it's so stupid. If someone wants to subscribe, they'll subscribe. But every time I end my video, I'm like, if you like this video, that's awesome. Like, I feel like I've trained myself for so long to say the same repetitive sentence. And I'm like, just gotta stop. But for some reason, it's like muscle memory. I still just want to keep saying it. All right, so that's it. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.